Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the south. More specifically, I am under a tree here in Bryson City, North Carolina, and we are on a road trip today looking for some cool things. And one thing that I like to visit as I travel across America is ranches. And I'm not talking about ranches where you rope steer or ride horses or that sort of thing. I'm talking about ranches such as the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, where you'll find Cadillacs angled in there. That's the key to building a good roadside ranch. You have to have vehicles stuck in the ground and angled. Nearby there is in Conway, Texas, there is a slug bug ranch where VW bugs are stuck out of the ground in a similar fashion. You have the former Airstream Ranch in Florida where Airstreams were stuck in the ground at an angle, and sadly that's been torn down. Also, you have the Lawnmower Ranch at Hillbilly Gardens in Calvert City, Kentucky. And here we've stumbled upon a completely different type of ranch. We are at the Kayak Ranch. Now, much like the other ranches, we are looking at vehicles sticking out of the ground at an angle, but these are not Cadillacs. These are kayaks used to traverse the rivers here in the Smoky Mountains. Now, I've never ever ridden a kayak. It always seemed like kind of like a coffin for your legs, which always kind of stressed me out, the thought of. But very cool to see the stretch of kayaks alongside the highway here. I'm here alongside the Nantahala River, and speaking of kayaks, one of my most traumatic experiences occurred right here. I wasn't in a kayak, I was in a raft. It was me, my brother and sister, my son James, then my mom and stepfather in a raft. We'd gone rafting down this river a couple times, but this was my last time I ever went down this river. The last time I've been in a raft, we were cruising down the river right to this spot right here. Now up there, there's a spot where they take your photo, and my wife Christy and Annabelle were right here waiting to see us, and they started waving at us as we were coming down the river. We saw them, so we all started waving, but because we were waving, we kind of got distracted. This is the biggest drop. This is like the big waterfall that they take your picture going over. So we got all discombobulated. We wound up beaching ourselves on that rock, and then our raft flipped over right in the middle of that waterfall. Now, it was absolutely freaking terrifying. I was underwater in a waterfall. We popped up. I popped up underneath the boat. I tried to struggle to get out from under the boat. I popped up. I could see James and my brother up ahead of me, and they were trying to stand up in the water. And this water is not very deep, only a few feet deep, but you can't stand up in it because it's so powerful. So they were taking turns trying to stand up and falling. I could just see Dan stand up, get his feet ripped out from under him. James tried to stand up, his feet getting ripped out from under him. Then I tried to think. I remembered, like Luke Skywalker listening to the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I remember, what did the raft guy say? What did the raft guy say to do if we wrecked? And so I put my feet out in front of me. That's what he said to do, because in his words, it's better to break your legs than your head. So I stuck my legs out in front of me, and I was just like surfing. My butt was just like hitting rocks, bouncing off all the way down there, and then my mom somehow, was wound up in this still water right here. She was actually able to stand up, and she kind of crawled off to the side. My stepdad crawled out of the water. He couldn't find my mom. He was screaming her name as loud as he could. It was absolutely terrifying. I was just driving along and I stumbled on this. Tanktown, USA. I had not heard of this. This is a experience where you rent a tank. Apparently it's $150 to rent a tank, $600 if you want to crush a car. Apparently there's machine gun bonuses you can add on. But I pulled up. Apparently they're not running today, but they said that I could look around, which looks really cool. So let's take a look at this. Armored personnel carrier. Drive tanks, crush cars. Looks like this is the viewing area where you'd watch cars and trucks being crushed by tanks. You can see some car emblems up here, pieces of car that have been collected. I guess this is what they use. These are British personnel carriers that you get to drive. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Here are some cars that have been flattened by tanks. Tank parking on the roof of this car. Ah, look at that. That has been mushed down into the mud really good. Apparently you can also pay to operate this digger here. Pretty fun. Oh, that's what a tank does to a minivan. I love just the sea of tank flattened cars. Also, there's buzzards circling above me. I hope they're not waiting for me to die. Truly a fascinating way to get out your inner aggressions. So yeah, they're not running tanks today, but I'm glad it's on my radar now. Maybe if you guys would like to see it, maybe I will come back and ride a tank. That does sound interesting and fun. Oh, we got some prison work detail here. Prisoners cleaning up leaves. I stopped here because I saw they have stump grinding, and I'm really looking to get some of my stumps ground. And oh my goodness. Just for the record, that deer is like, he's installed in there. He's not just sitting in there, so he's permanent outdoors taxidermy. Someone left their toilet here. It's a pretty cool little tar paper church right there. Alright, I wanted to check on something while I was in the area. I was here 4 years ago and I placed my shoes on this shoe tree here in Cherokee, Alabama. Actually placed very loud, very dangerous place to be standing. I placed my shoes and Anna's shoes on this shoe tree, and I wanted to check and see if I could find them. I didn't bring a new pair of shoes to hang, but I was wondering if I could maybe find my old pair. I looked back at the video to see where I hung them, and I'll put the video down in the description if you want to check that out. So it actually appears that the branch that I hung the shoes from has fallen off. So they're not hanging on the tree anymore, but I'm wondering if I could maybe find the branch and find my shoes. There's a lot of fallen branches and discarded shoes, but I'm not seeing mine. Yeah, the last time I was here, there was a branch coming off that way that is now gone. It looks like some people have just taken to bolting their shoes to the tree. Okay, this is pretty wild. I cannot locate my shoes that I hung here, but this right here, falling apart, this is Anna's Converse that I left here 4 years ago. That's pretty wild. It's hanging in this this other tree, this other little tree. I guess that when the branch fell, this bunch of shoes caught on here. So there they are. Hold up, hold up. Just noticed right here. That's my shoe. It is turned from brown to white and green. Some algae has grown on it, but that is my shoe from 4 years ago that I left here. Call me an odd man, but that, to me, something really comforting about that, about coming here 4 years later and finding something that I left here on my travels. Pretty amazing. Dang pranksters. All right, we have rolled into Iuka, Mississippi, a quaint little town. So quaint, in fact, that it still has a TV repair shop, but there's a one-of-a-kind museum here in Iuka. Yes, here in Iuka, we are at the Apron Museum. Of course, here at the Carpetbagger channel, we love cloth-based household accessories. In some ways, you can almost say an apron. It's like a quilt for a human.
You know, you could imagine, I don't know, she might have even done stems, like roast, you know. And then I don't know what.
Kind of a manly apron there.
There's 2 loops.
And what's that?
These are aprons from Black Mountain.
Black Mountain, North Carolina. What's that say? To hell with housework. She's drinking and smoking.
We've had like I know.
Pistol Club bar apron. It's a little racy.
French ones, those ought to be interesting.
Mule hide roofs.
This one's not estimated. This one's souvenir of France. This is 1917.
Given to a retiring club officer. Everyone signed it and then she stitched their signatures.
These I gotta get into. This was with it, and I shouldn't have wandered it. And the ribbons were beautiful until I washed it.
To put these together as a kit. So someone could just make this one
Process. One of them, they keep coming in.
Too bad
I know.
This apron's got California on it, and look, there's Knott's Berry Farm.
So that was
That lady in there knew everything about aprons, and I find that very impressive. I feel like when you do something, go all in. It is not safe to ride in the back of a truck like that. Check out this old building here. It says 3-way hog shop. I'm not even sure what that means. And the bar over there is called 3-way hog bar. Is the town called 3-way hog? Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video that I took on my road trip. Kind of a compilation of some of the shorter stops on my trip. How I do things is, because I have a wife and kid and pets and a home and a mortgage, I can't stay on the road 24/7. So I do shorter road trips, and I try to film as much as I possibly can while I'm on the road trips. So kind of what you saw there was maybe little pieces and bits, smaller stops that maybe couldn't be stretched out into a whole video, but were worth showing anyways. Big thanks to all you guys. I want to thank you for allowing me to do this for a living. This started out as a hobby and has become a full-time occupation, and that still amazes me, and I am so grateful that you guys allow me to do that. So, much more to come. This one's in the bag.